What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 205. My name is Harrison, and I am joined by my brother Nick. As always, Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing good. Doing all right. I'm doing okay.
I'm doing okay.
I'm just okay. Today was a lot. I mean, today was just a long day.
Dude, the last 2 days were been kind of long and more work. Not that I'm upset about doing a lot of work, but more work than I intended to. So yesterday,
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, yesterday, whenever I think I texted you about the Pokemon thing, I was like, I kind of just want to wait until tomorrow, anyways, to do the podcast because I just need. Sometimes you just need that extra day.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, the Pokemon Presents is happening tomorrow. I was like, I don't really expect much from it, and we didn't get much, but at least it's something extra we could talk about. But I'd also forgotten about the Nintendo Direct and and everything last week. So we got some good stuff to talk about this week. And Elden Ring is all we need, baby.
Dude, Elden Ring. Who cares about Switch 2 this year? We got Elden Ring coming out.
Dude, we'll talk about it here in a little bit. But dude, I was so hyped that entire trailer. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it looks incredible.
Yeah,
looks so good, man. I'm excited to go back in and replay it.
Yeah, I saw that you had booted it up, and I don't know if you had been playing it, but I did the same thing. I went back into and I started my second file that I did, and I was right at the beginning, and I was just like running around, like swinging the sword, and I was like, man, this is 60 frames per second. Like this game looks so beautiful. I want to play it.
So good. No, I jumped back in to see if because my main character is on like New Game Plus 3 or whatever, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see if in that playthrough I had gone to Mog's.
Right, because
I hadn't.
Yeah.
So and now I'm torn because I want, like, part of me wants to do the DLC with that character, but I'm afraid of going into a DLC with New Game Plus whatever, because I feel like that scales a lot with the difficulty.
Yeah, hopefully they do they typically give out the information on what to expect going into the DLC, or they just kind of just release it and that's it? Because I'm kind of the same mind, like, are they gonna, like, if we use the character that we go into, or do we make a new character? Like what's kind of the deal? I guess we don't 100% know yet, right?
Yeah, I know there's a new way to power up your character aside from leveling up the traditional sense. I can't remember what it is. If you follow Vati Vidya on YouTube, he does a lot of good Dark Souls and Elden Ring, like, analyses and breakdowns and that kind of stuff. But he was talking about the DLC, and yeah, he mentioned that that there would be some sort of new way to strengthen your character, and maybe that would play a part into kind of like leveling out the playing field if you go in with a really high level. Because like my character's like a level 180.
Yeah, I'm like
something like
I'm
that.
on. Like, I think I beat the game at least three or four times. So
yeah.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid either. I'm assuming they'll scale it even if you're on New Game, plus or whatever. But I also don't want to get completely wrecked either.
Yeah. So well, maybe, I mean, if we're still intending to do our like weekly play along, I'll still play it. Like, I'll still do a new character and get up to that point at least.
Okay. And
then maybe have the option of like doing a new character with the DLC or doing my legacy character.
So our plan is, or we have kind of discussed it since the DLC is coming out in June, that we were going to replay Elden Ring and play up to a certain point, I guess, each week, and maybe talk about that area or something like that, to that effect. So are you going to start a brand new character, or are you going to play as New Game Plus?
I would probably start a brand new character.
Okay, that's what I'll probably do then.
Yeah, rather than, because if I went through it with New Game Plus, I would just steamroll.
Yeah.
Everyone. I feel like Elden Ring New Game Plus doesn't scale as hard as like Dark Souls and Bloodborne does.
It can't, like, cause like it's like the second you get to, you're done within and it feels really good because you spent the entire first playthrough like getting steamrolled yourself by these characters, so it feels good to kind of repay it a little bit. But yeah, I guess we'll talk about that here in a little bit with the other release date and stuff like that. But how was your week, Nick?
It was pretty good. This is the first week that my boss is gone from work. He quit, so it's just been a lot of work to do and like a lot of planning, but it's all right. Weekend was fine.
You're the boss now, right? Is that how that works?
No, I just I get the responsibility of being the boss without any of the perks of it.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Of course.
But aside from that, it was a good week. Didn't do too much this weekend. Played some Final Fantasy. Played some other games that I'm excited to talk about. So yeah. How about you? How's your weekend? How's your week?
It was good. Didn't really do much this. Didn't really do much this weekend either. Just streamed a bunch of Zelda, Saturday and Sunday. And that's pretty much it. I didn't go out and do much. Well, I guess Friday, Kellen spent the night at my dad's house again, and we went out. There's this new. It's called the Dive Bar, but it's like a barcade kind of thing. I've never felt so out of place in my life. Like as far as like, I guess the age gap between myself and some of the people that were there.
Were they a lot older?
They were a lot younger. It was like fresh.
Okay.
And I've been like, and I've been to plenty of scenarios where I've been around and like I don't feel that way, but this one, I don't know, it came in and it's like a cool setup. It's got like a big bar. Half the walls like the kind of the crane machines, and the other half they've got like some other like arcade games. It's not like the greatest like barcade in the world, but it's pretty decent. They got pool tables in the back. And we were trying to play skee ball, and there was a big group of I don't know. Saying kids makes me feel very old, but 21, 22-year-olds, whatever. Yeah. And they were crowded around one of those like punching bag machines, like just being real bro and stuff. And I was like, I'm just trying to play like some skee ball, and I'm afraid I'm gonna get punched because y'all are gonna do a big old wind up
there.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just felt very out of place. So we left, and we ended up going to a different bar. Because this bar didn't really have. They had like convection ovens for pizza. They just cooked right behind the bar counter. So I was like, I don't really want pizza, and I'm not saying that I don't trust it, but also, yeah,
I don't like that it's right there.
Yeah, it's like right there. So we ended up getting some. Went to another bar and got some food and had a couple more drinks, and then Ubered home. But it was. I think it would be better to go like maybe earlier, like start out there maybe. Which we started out there, but like start out there like real early. We got there around like 10:30, so it was already pretty packed.
Okay. You got there late, yeah.
But it was cool. It was a good time. And then then Saturday we just did our normal wings night, whatever.
Nice.
Hung out. So yeah. It was a good week.
Oh yeah, I love to hear it.
It's good. It's good getting out. We don't get to go out too often, so whenever we do get a chance, it's always a good time.
Yeah, man, I feel like you guys go out more than we do.
Really?
You have 2 kids. Yeah. I mean, we don't like Uber out and drink too much.
Yeah.
It is fun though. I love a good Uber.
Uber's good.
Yeah. That's my favorite part.
That's my favorite part.
Getting to talk to new people. All right. Should we dive into what we've been playing?
Yeah, look, give me one. Jim over here on YouTube, he says, speaking of Zelda, what do you guys think about the Zelda movie that should be coming soon?
Right. I am not super optimistic because it's Sony spearheading the movie, and
isn't it the Uncharted director? No, it's not the Uncharted director. It's somebody else that did like kind of not like a mediocre movie.
Is it the Venom guy? I think it's the Venom guy.
Is it? Oh gosh. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Uncharted. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I thought the Mario movie was pretty good for what it's worth. I think they did a pretty good job with that. So I'm more optimistic about it than I probably would be if the Mario movie didn't exist. But also, it's like,
do we need a live action Zelda?
Do we need a live action? Like, am I ready for the internet's debate on should Link talk or not? Because he is, because it's a movie, it's Hollywood. He's got to talk.
He has to.
Timothy Chalamet, he's got to always. I mean, he's gonna have to talk.
He's gonna have to talk. Chalamet is gonna have to talk.
That's by the way, that's my vote for Link. I think it should be Timothy Chalamet. I think he'll bring a big enough
he'll bring a following.
Presence.
Yeah, and he's very hot right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, get him and Zendaya, Sydney Sweeney, get all the hot actors right now.
No shade on Sydney Sweeney. I do not think she's a very good actress. At least from what the stuff, like, I've seen Euphoria, and I don't know if it was just her character, but I did not like her in that show. I also didn't like Euphoria. I thought it was just.
I think Euphoria is pretty trash.
Like it's way over the top for what teenagers are actually doing. I'm like, okay, this is
it's just kind of like edgy for the sense of being edgy.
Yeah, it's like do I really want to see like so-called like naked teenagers, even though they're well over 18, but it's like it's still weird to think about. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, conceptually, it's very strange. Yeah.
Emma Watson. Yeah, I think Emma Watson would be a good Zelda. That's like kind of the meme right now is
yeah. If they did time travel, like a young Link and adult Link, I think she could do a good adult Zelda.
Yeah, which, I mean, would that be the story that they adapt? Would be like the Ocarina of Time story?
Maybe not one for one, but I think the concept of time travel could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that could be cool
for a movie at least.
I'm just like, oh man, it just kind of gives me chills just thinking about hearing like some of the classic songs from Ocarina of Time being played. Like that could be really awesome.
There's no way they're gonna do it justice.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, but it's also like Zelda. It's like it has very deep lore, but the story is also never super great anyways in the regular game. So
yeah.
But let's dive into what we've been playing. And speaking of Zelda, I'll start just really quickly because I've only played a couple things. I wrapped up Zelda Ocarina of Time. I absolutely loved again my time with this game. I never 100%ed it and when as a kid. Like I was going back through the guidebook and stuff, and like I had marked off a lot of the Skulltulas and heart pieces. I think I got all the heart pieces as a kid, but there's a lot of Skulltulas that I never got. So going back and like actually 100% in the game, like felt like, I don't know, a 20-year-old accomplishment.
Yeah.
Not that I was like, trying like that was like a gaming goal of mine, but when I was playing it, I was like, you know what? I never did this as a kid. Let me do this now. And it felt really good the other night getting the last Skulltula, and it was awesome.
Wow, very very cathartic.
Yeah, very very cathartic.
Full circle.
Yeah, very very full circle. I think. So
if Ocarina of Time comes to Switch 2 as a HD remaster, would you 100% it again?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't.
It's just that good, man. It's just that good. Like. I feel like games like that are super timeless. Like it just feels so good to get everything to 100%. It's not like doing a checklist or, it's not like doing an Ubisoft game, right? it actually feels.
It didn't feel. Yeah,
satisfying
it did not feel like a grind at all because it's not really that much. I mean, there was 100 Skulltulas, but each temple had about 3 or 4. It's really, I didn't realize this until about halfway through getting these, but as you complete areas or you complete temples and dungeons and stuff, it'll mark off, like it'll show a Skulltula on the map that you're looking at that you've got them all in that spot, in that area. So it really helps out. So I'm like, man, this is 98 and they were thinking about that stuff. Like that's pretty incredible.
Better than some modern games.
Yeah. So yeah, it did not feel like a typical Ubisoft kind of experience where it just felt like an absolute grind. And the final thing you get for getting all the 100 Skulltulas is not great. You get 200 rupees for it, but every time you go back into the building, he gives you 200 rupees every single time.
Okay.
But at that point, I was like, well, I've got everything, so there's really no need other than just I did it. So
it's the equivalent of the golden poop in Breath of the Wild. It's like you don't need. It's like good job. Yeah, you did a good job.
I feel like this in Ocarina of Time, it's a little bit better. The golden poop just feels like a big old middle finger to you. But yeah, kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Fantastic game. I still think it holds up incredibly well. Besides the just the not having the free camera, is kind of a pain. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Nice.
Ended up picking up Mario versus Donkey Kong. Nick, you had texted me the QVC or X whatever it is website that Wario64 posted. So I ended up getting it for like $35, which I think is probably a better price. I don't know if it's the right price, but a better price than spending $50. I don't think $50 is worth it to me necessarily. For a Game Boy Advance game at this point or back in the day. But it's still pretty fun. Like I've gotten through three worlds, 100% at each of those. It's extremely easy. So I'm assuming it'll get a little bit harder as the game progresses, as Mario games typically do, but it's fun. Yeah. It's very different than your traditional Mario game, but it's pretty fun. I'd recommend picking it up at a slashed price or something like that.
Yeah, it's sitting downstairs unopened. I've been meaning to play it, but
yeah,
you have a lot of Mario games you need to finish.
I do. I've got Super Mario RPG, I've got Mario Wonder, and I've got this.
Well, hey, maybe, since the Switch 2 isn't coming out this year, allegedly, this is a good year to mop up all those games you didn't finish last year.
That is definitely the plan, because right now I'm not, other than Elden Ring, I'm not super hyped up for like anything. Like I'm excited to play Hellblade 2. And I'm gonna play that absolutely day one, but I'm not like super hyped to play that. And other than that,
Avowed, Dragon's Dogma
2, I am pretty interested in.
Yeah,
that seems like a good like between game between now and like Elden Ring. It'll kind of get me in a little bit of that mood, even though they're kind of a different style of game. But yeah, I'm excited for Dragon's Dogma 2, but. Yeah, not a lot that I'm hyped for right now.
I don't know. There are a few games around the corner for me that I'm excited for. Unicorn Overlord. I've been playing the demo.
I have the demo really downloaded, good. But I have not checked it out yet. That seems like more your cup of tea than mine. But
yeah, it's like a little bit of Fire Emblem, and then it's kind of like an auto battler too.
Yeah,
to a degree, but it's really cool. I played about an hour and a half so far of the demo. Apparently, the demo is like 8 hours long. So
geez,
yeah, you can get some mileage out of it, which is great. But yeah, that Final Fantasy Rebirth, I'm still on the fence about. Actually, well, let me dive into Remake.
Please, I want to hear your thoughts.
So I finished it up about 25 hours. So I pretty much mainlined the game, did very minimal side quests because all of them or all the ones that I saw were very filler, and didn't really, add a lot to the game in my opinion. I really like the combat in this game. I think it does a really cool mix, like with it's called the ATB, which is like active battle system, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it pretty much just kind of brings together turn-based and real time combat together. I really like that combat, and it seems like Rebirth is gonna take the same thing and add a lot to it and make it even more complex. So I really like that about Remake. And the story was good. Like the characters were all very very endearing, and even the side characters had a lot of growth throughout the game, which was really cool to see. Like some of the characters I didn't even think I'd care about, I ended up really caring about a lot, and there were some relatively emotional scenes at some points in the game.
Yeah.
And just for context, I haven't played the original Final Fantasy VII, so I don't have that nostalgia for it. So I'm going in, as fresh as someone can go into it.
Yeah. Which is how I plan on going into it eventually. We'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that, and then there were, a few areas towards like the middle endish of the game that are just super, super beautiful after, the kind of the main cataclysmic event happens. Partway through the game, the game kind of opens up a little bit and it gets really gorgeous. All being said, it just feels. I talked about this either last week or a few weeks ago. Hey, Kellen, let's go, buddy. He's got his toy gun. Got a little revolver,
Little pop gun.
little pop gun. I like it. Yeah. That being said, the game just kind of feels like it slows you down to a halt.
Yeah.
A lot of the times.
That's the biggest like gripe I've heard from this game is it kind of constantly just halts your progress or like kills the flow, I guess, of the game.
Kills the momentum.
The momentum, yeah.
Yeah, and it does that in small ways, and it does that in big ways, and that's what I'm most apprehensive about Rebirth for. Like I'm almost scared to get into an even bigger game that follows the same tropes of like, oh, you're gonna do 2 battles and then you're gonna be forced into playing these mini games or doing these side quests or like doing these like filler quests or whatever, or going into a very long cutscene. And maybe that's just not entirely my cup of tea. Like I'm very much a gameplay first type of person. And
but Final Fantasy is very much not that though, right? Like isn't it like a lot of for the most part tons of cutscenes?
Yeah, it's a lot of cutscenes. It's either cutscenes or a lot of walk and talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like game slows you down so your characters can have dialogue. And like I hear that Rebirth is a lot more open, like very much more open world than Remake is. But yeah, that's the one thing I'm worried about is just like if I sit down for 30 minutes to play this game, am I gonna feel like I've made progress?
Yeah.
Like you would with something like Prince of Persia, Lost Crown.
Yeah, I think that's just like the struggle with like a JRPG or RPG or something like that. It's okay, I've got 30 minutes to an hour to do something or play. And in a lot of games, you can make some progress. But yeah, in RPGs, depending on where you're at, I mean, you might run into a 15-20 minute cutscene and then you're like, well, I'm done playing for now. Yep, that's it.
And yeah, and that's just me describing. I'm just describing JRPGs in general.
Yeah.
But like I love them on the Switch, because I can play in bed or play wherever else. But like when it's on the PS5, it's like okay, like I am on the couch playing on a TV. It feels like
that's all you're doing. You're not. Yeah, with the Switch, you can be playing in bed, but also watching TV or something.
Yeah, and it just feels like kind of like I'm taking up more space or taking up. I don't know.
It's a commitment when you're playing. Like when you're playing something on Xbox or PlayStation. Like for the most part, like you're locked in.
Yeah. So it's all a taste thing. Like I've seen reviews of people giving the remake a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
and
I've seen those.
10 out of 10s and 9s out of 10s. I'd personally give it like a 7.5 or 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that being said, I'm on the fence about Rebirth. I'll probably wait and see if, something pushes me over the edge. But yeah, that's Final Fantasy VII Remake. But onto a game that doesn't waste your time at all. Harrison, I'm so excited to talk about Balatro.
Okay.
Balatro. This game came out of nowhere. Like I just randomly saw it somewhere and decided to pick it up.
Was it not on the Direct?
No, it wasn't in the Direct. Okay. It came out, I think it came out like a day before the Direct. I always say like I'm not a big roguelike person. I think I am.
Nick, I think you are. Like you play a lot of roguelikes and like them a lot. Between Slay the Spire and Hades.
Slay the Spire, Dead Cells, Hades, Vampire Survivors. I think I like roguelites, and that's okay.
I think you do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the resident roguelike guy.
Cool. I am. But this one is especially cool because it's a roguelike card builder, but you're playing poker and the goal is kind of like to break the game. And it starts out pretty simple. Like you'll go up against a blind, which is just like, for this enemy or blind, you have to score 300 points. And to score points, you get like you play poker, like you either get like a pair or flush straight, and you get multipliers, and depending on the value of your card, you can get like a further multiplier. And then to add like the roguelite element in between each round, you can buy some stuff. You can use money that you earn to buy stuff. So you can either buy one of 150 jokers that kind of magnify or change the gameplay. Like one of them is you can make a straight with 4 cards instead of 5, or you can make a flush with 4 cards, or you get like a ×3 multiplier if all your cards are hearts or whatever. So like there's a lot of stuff that you can like kind of stack together and further add to and multiply the points that you're earning. So you go from earning 200 points per hand to earning like 50,000 points per hand played. So like it really scales, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can unlock. And yeah, I mean, I've beaten like the final blind like 3 times now with 3 different decks, and each time whatever you beat the blind with a deck, you like unlock a new like alternative deck of like, you either start with $10, or you have an additional hand that you can play each round, or you have an additional discard that you can use each round. So there's a lot of varying factors in this game that make it really fun, and it's super snappy too. So I fully recommend this game. It's my game of the year so far. No lie. Like it's just poker. Like it's just poker. There's no like additional gimmicks, or there's obviously additional gimmicks I just talked about, but it's not like it's like Slay the Spire where you're facing enemies and stuff like that. It's like no, you're going against the what is it called? Going against the house essentially, and each round the house increases, and you're trying to beat the score to continue. So it's a really, really cool game, even for someone who like doesn't necessarily love poker. It's cool. It's very cool.
That sounds pretty cool. No, it does sound cool. I had looked at the screenshots and stuff and a video of it. So yeah, it looks cool.
It's one of those things where the screenshots or whatever doesn't do it justice, but like once you get into it and once it clicks, like it really gets its hooks into you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sweet. And then I think the last thing I've been playing is was it on Sunday? I downloaded Dead Island 2 because that's on Game Pass now. It kind of shadow dropped on Game Pass out of nowhere.
So that was a shadow drop, because I didn't see anything about that getting.
Yeah, it just appeared.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, weird.
I loved your drop kick serenades. That was so funny.
Dude, the drop kicks in this game are second to none.
Yeah, I was like,
It's
this looks.
so funny.
I was like, I haven't played it yet, but this looks kind of OP a little bit.
Yeah, it is. You can change the effects of your drop kick too. You can. This game is. I've been skipping cutscenes because I'm just playing, man. This game is it's such stupid fun. Like, oh, you're just killing zombies. You're going around killing zombies in Hollywood. So it's awesome. You get a bunch of different like what is it called? Hand weapons, not guns.
Weapons?
Yeah, oh my god,
Not
hand weapons. No, you get just a bunch of different melee weapons, and you can upgrade them and change them around and add different attributes and that kind of stuff.
It's funny because they just added guns to Dying Light 2 for like its 2-year anniversary. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I do want a gun in this game. I wonder if you get one, but at the beginning, it's kind of funny. Like you get into like the safe house or whatever, and you're about to go out and defend the safe house, and the guy tries to hand you a gun. He's like, "Oh, you look like you need a gun," and your character's like, "Nah, man, I'm good.
I'm good. It's not my
it's not my steez.
Not my steez." That's funny.
That's cool. I've probably played like 5 or 6 hours of it so far.
Wow.
But
okay.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, don't expect anything crazy, but it's just like stupid zombie killing fun.
Yeah.
Nothing too difficult. The respawns are very generous. It's not like you're losing out on a lot of progress or anything. But
I think in Dead Island 1, if you died, like your backpack drop, is it the same kind of thing?
No, you just respawn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it was in the first one. There was
maybe
a lot higher stakes.
I can't remember.
There were bigger stakes in Dead Island 1. I think in Dying Light you did drop your backpack and you had to run back and get it.
Okay.
That's cool. I mean, I'd give it a shot. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out. I feel like I got so much to play, but then
then you're like, oh, I got nothing to look forward to.
And it's like, I kind of want to just play Majora's Mask now.
Hey, just become a retro gamer.
Hey, it's making my way through the games here.
Yeah, through the catalog.
Anything else you have been playing?
Alicia and I started playing Unraveled 2
this
weekend. Played for a few hours, and that's really fun.
Do you plan on picking up Brothers? That comes out tomorrow, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. I might pick it up.
I wonder how much it is. I think the original was like $15-$20 maybe.
Yeah, let me see.
And I'm curious to see if it would have co-op or not.
I think it does have co-op. Not sure how much it is. But I don't know why
Jim,
it wouldn't
if
be.
You're still here. No, I have not played. Well, I have played the Master Quest, but I have not finished it.
I think I did the Master Quest on the 3DS.
Did you? They had the Master Quest on the 3DS?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Actually, yeah. Is it multiplayer?
I feel like it. Well, I mean, they only had the multiplayer on the Switch version, actually, so it may not.
That's kind of wild. Oh wait, no, it has local co-op.
Okay. It does. Okay.
Yeah, the remake does.
Sweet.
It looks pretty good. You've played it, right?
Yeah, I played it too. I've played it through a couple times. I think I played it through on Xbox. I want to say it was on Game Pass, or probably still is. And then I picked it up on Switch and played through with Brittany.
Nice.
She really liked it. That was like a kind of perfect couch co-op game.
Is there a lot of combat? Is it mostly?
No, there's no combat at all. It's just I mean, there are like enemies that you fight, but you're more of like using the environment to stop and kill them and stuff. It's pretty good. I think Alicia would like that a lot if you play with her. And it's only like 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours maybe. It's pretty short.
Okay. Yeah, my one gripe with Unraveled 2 is like I don't think the enemies are necessary.
Yeah.
Like there's have you played Unraveled 2?
I'm not.
Okay, but there's it's mostly environmental puzzles, but
Yeah.
once you get later into the game, they're like these little black, like shadowy figures that kind of chase you a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I don't think this is totally necessary for this kind of game. They should have just stuck to like the actual, like just the puzzles, and that would have been good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, and I mean there definitely is a couple of boss fight scenarios, but again, you're kind of just running away from them and then using like one person will activate a lever and trap, they'll trap the monster or vice versa, whatever the case is. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
nice. Okay.
Cool. Did how much was it? Did you see the price?
No, let me see. I'm on Xbox's websites.
Look at it on Steam. How much is it?
God damn, can't find the price anywhere.
This game unlocks in 12 hours. Add to your wish list. I don't want to do that. Jeez. Well, I gotta imagine it's probably
$30.
Probably that might. Well, it's a remake. They probably I can't imagine it being that. I think the original was 15, but who knows? They might charge a little extra because it's more. I don't know. Either way, yeah. If it's like $30 or below, I think it's definitely worth it.
Okay.
To try
I'll check it out.
Especially if you haven't played through it. Oh, I do briefly want to talk about. I've been watching the Avatar, the Last Airbender show on Netflix.
Same here. It's all the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I'm a massive Avatar fan. I love that series. And this one's pretty good. It's definitely got some questionable CGI here and there, and
yeah,
I think the acting gets a little bit better towards the end. There's a couple of like okay, so for instance, and I laughed out loud. There's a part where I think it's in the first episode, but it's when after they find Aang and they're in the hut or whatever, and the Grand is like earth, water, fire, and air, and reciting the exact like intro to the anime. I'm like, okay, this is a really corny, and I was like, I don't know about this show, and then yeah, it gets better, and they do mix up, like they combine episodes from the original, and which is fine. As someone who hasn't watched the show, it probably doesn't matter at all, but someone w's seen it a bunch, like it's like this feels kind of rushed, but also, I mean, you got to fit into 8 episodes, so I get it.
Are they fitting the entire series?
No, so there should be. I mean, if they're going by the anime, there should be 3 seasons.
So, okay, so they fit all of season 1.
Yeah, so it'll be water, earth, and then fire.
Okay. Yeah, well, because like the second episode, that one felt like a 1-for-1 from the anime.
Is that the one where they were on Kyoshi Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty. So it's weird. They do some full episodes, and then there was one where they get to Omashu, and it's literally like 4 different characters crammed into like 4 different character stories crammed into one. And I'm like, well, this person wasn't here. This person wasn't in Omashu, but they're important characters that you have to introduce them at some point, and you might just have to cram a couple of them into the same. And it made sense, like during the story, it made sense. So it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like saw some like bad reviews of it, and then actually watched it. And, like it's pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I think a lot of the fan the show's never going to be what the original was. I mean, it's just not. And I'm a little bit confused too, because going into it, like Sokka's character, like his overall like growth as a character, like in the episode with the Kyoshi warriors, he's extremely sexist. He's like, okay, these girls are not better than me. I'm better. I'm a better fighter. And then he gets humbled very quickly. And then he has a moment of growth. In the live action, he has none of that. He has none of those thoughts. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not needed,
You
but I'm
kind of
also, it's like, this is like, it's okay to be sexist in this scenario because he has growth and it shows him growing as a character. But then flip to the very end, there's a character that you meet in the Northern Water Tribe who's also sexist, and they keep that in there. So I'm like, it's a little
like
bit
why
weird.
didn't they keep
It's a
that
little
with the
bit
main?
weird, but
Well, I guess they kind of did it when he was trying to show off to the Kyoshi warrior,
yeah,
and like and she kind of humbled him, and then he like walked away,
yeah,
and then came back later and trained with her. So like maybe like it was more implied or
like
internal,
subtly,
I
yeah, like
guess. Yeah, more
a subtle
subtle.
hint, yeah. But in like the anime, he's like straight on like, oh, you're a girl, you can't be a warrior, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and after the episode, you're like, okay, he's growing. He's kind of annoying, but he's
He
understanding the world a little bit better.
he looks exactly like Sokka in the anime, though.
See, I think the overall casting is pretty good.
Yeah,
Like it's,
I think it's pretty spot on.
yeah, it's pretty spot on with it's not like the M Night Shyamalan Avatar movie where every character is white. It's like a white character. I'm like, this is an entire world, and there's different, like, in the show, even the creators, they base each element on a different part of the world, so it's like, everybody knows that movie was awful.
Yeah, I still want to watch it someday, but
It's terrible. Like the firebenders in the movie, they don't actually just create fire out of their hands. They like use torches to take the fire out of the torch and then throw. It's so bad. Oh my god. It's pretty awful.
yeah.
I was very disappointed in that movie, and it never got a sequel, of course. But
of course,
yeah, it was pretty terrible. But let's dive into the news. We had a bunch of stuff. We'll start off with some more bad news. PlayStation is the latest company to announce that they're laying off a lot. Like they laid off what, like 900 people, I think.
8%.
8% across.
It's always 8%
across everything. Like they closed, I think their London studio that
they mostly
did
did VR stuff.
Did a couple of VR games. They laid off some people in Insomniac, which is like, Insomniac is carrying them for this generation.
Yeah.
So, well, let me just
Insomniac and Grilla.
Yeah, and from Grilla too. So I took a there's someone on Twitter, I can't it's Pio for those who care, but he said, we're 2 months into 2024. Here's a list of all the game layoffs, or some of the layoffs that have happened. Microsoft, 1,900 people. Sony, 900. Unity Software, 1,800. Twitch, 500. Riot Games, 530. Discord, 170. Playtika, I don't know what that is, 300 to 400 people. Lost Boys Interactive, 125 people. Pixelberry Studios, 120 people. Metaverse World, 70 people. Black Forest Games, 50 people. Rycon Games, 60 people. Eidos Montreal, 97 people. Sega of America, 61 people. 91 Jesus. Act, 60 people. And Supermassive Games, 90 people. So that's a lot.
And we're only 2 months in.
2 months in. What?
I think this is just I mean, this is the effect of
COVID.
Yeah, it's the long-term effect of COVID. It's just
long-term effect of COVID. I think companies, just
they expected the interest in gaming to continue throughout COVID, and that really didn't last as long as they thought it would. Like everyone who bought a Switch during COVID or bought an Xbox or a PlayStation, like they're probably not continuing to buy games at this point.
Yeah, I mean, especially like Animal Crossing. Like there was no like scenario where Animal Crossing would sell over 40 million. One game would sell over 40 million. Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. It's a terrible situation. I think there's a photo of I can't remember what studio it was, but it was a studio where they were saying bye to Jim Ryan, and then 5 days later.
It was the studio that got shut down.
Oh, it was the one from London?
Yeah, it was the London studio.
So, like, yeah, it's
so he
terrible.
Knew.
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, yeah, I think Jim got out of PlayStation at the perfect time. But yeah, it's just to show that look, PlayStation, dominating this, between Xbox and PlayStation, they're dominating, but their sales projections didn't hit. So what's the first thing you do when sales projections don't hit to meet the demands of the shareholders? You cut people.
Not only that, but their projections are going to hit throughout the next year because they don't have any games coming out. Any first party games they have, Final Fantasy VII remake and Stellar Blade. I mean, those games they're not gonna move consoles in a way like Spider-Man or God of War could. But yeah, I mean,
I wonder if Helldivers 2 moved any consoles for them.
I'm sure it did.
I bet it did a little bit.
Sure it did. Yeah.
I mean, if you
were close to getting one, then I'm sure it moved it for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm still debating because I mean, it's not in our news, but we'll talk. I mean, we're talking about it since we're playing. We're talking about PlayStation, but I mean, there's the PlayStation Pro that's kind of recirculated again now that Switch 2's been delayed. And there's not a world where I pick up a Pro. I think they're trying to line it up with getting that thing ready and out there before GTA 6 arrives, because I think they want to be the premier platform and have the highest power. Like, this is where you want to play GTA 6. I just don't know what world or what scenario where. I mean, because that thing is going to be $600 at the minimum. Like, I don't know. I think PlayStation needs to kind of backtrack a little bit and figure out what the heck they're doing, because I mean, the PlayStation VR 2 was kind of DOA. We haven't had like a massive first party game from them since Horizon, and that was like a bundle game.
A launch game, yeah.
They just shut down a VR studio, so that's kind of the writing on the wall for VR, in my opinion, with them. And I mean, look at the original PSVR; they didn't really support that one, and that one sold pretty well, all things considered. I don't know. I don't think we know the numbers for the VR2, and they keep saying that the PS Portal is out of stock, but that doesn't mean anything, because you could release 100,000 units into the world, and they get eaten up pretty quick. 100,000. I mean, that's a lot of units, I guess, but in the grand scheme of things,
scarcity.
Yeah, it's not. So it's like, how many? Couple million, maybe, just for people that were kind of curious about the device. But I haven't really heard like great things about it either. So it's like, if you're not releasing numbers, like, what is this thing actually selling? So I don't know. I think they're just, I don't want to say oversaturating the market with their stuff, but
superfluous garbage.
Yeah, just like I don't trust PlayStation when it comes to their peripherals at all, because they just don't support them.
They need to take the teams that are working on their peripherals. Yeah, I don't know if this is a 1-to-1 translation, but take those teams, unify them, and put them on smaller projects, like smaller games.
Yeah.
Instead of having these enormous AAA games that cost $300 million to make.
Yeah.
Like, put out smaller stuff, like Nintendo does. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but Nintendo pads out their release, their year, by having these smaller releases throughout the year. I mean, we see that every year with Nintendo. They have on average like at least 10 first party releases per year.
Yeah. And a lot, like you said, most of it's like pretty minor stuff, but probably doesn't cost them that much to develop, and bringing generally pretty fun games, for the most part. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I would love to see PlayStation put out a game or a remake of the caliber of like Mario versus Donkey Kong, something that's less than premium price, that smaller in scope, that's still fun. I mean, Xbox is kind of doing it. They have their smaller games, and maybe that strategy isn't working because they're bringing them over to PlayStation as well. But I mean, maybe that's part of the overarching goal to get the games in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I think that's just the way the gaming space is going. Is these games are just too expensive to make. and there's not a lot of return on investment. You just don't get a lot of profit from these games after you've spent years and years and years making them. And I think while for like exclusives are cool and for massive first party games are awesome, but I really think Xbox is kind of going in the right direction. They're kind of seeing again the writing on the wall with this stuff, and maybe especially their games. Like I don't see PlayStation doing that anytime soon, like putting their stuff on other consoles. But look at their kind of their PC strategy. Helldivers was one in day the same date. Within the next couple of years, I think we'll see day and day. Spider-Man 3 on PC, and
yeah, because they can't afford to miss out on that really huge market that is the PC market. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to sell exponentially more consoles because people are at this point locked into their console, right? Like either you're locked into the Series X because you've had an Xbox for the past 15 years, or the same with the PlayStation, and you're not really convincing new players to pick up a PS5 or a Series X.
Yeah.
So you got to tap into the untapped markets when it comes to your games, and that's PC, and that's tapping into the Xbox market eventually, maybe even the Nintendo market. I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see how well Pentiment and Grounded do on the Switch. Which I'm sure they'll do pretty well.
Which I love it. I love to see it. Not love it, I actually hate it, but like the whole Pentiment thing where it came out on PS5 and ran at like 120 FPS, but the studio came out and said there was some sort of bug with the Xbox version. I don't know, and they were supposed to release day and date, and it didn't happen. So technically, but I'm like, dude, this is like a tiny game. Like, why are we worried about the frames per second on? I mean, I understand why it's a thing because people are just idiots. These console warriors are insane to me. I don't know, man. It's wild.
If 120 FPS really improves your experience in Pentiment, then
on a game that you know for a fact that they are not going to play.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna hate buy this game, and which I thought about picking it up on the Switch, like getting the physical version, just because it's kind of cool, Yeah,
I'm interested in it. It's definitely not my cup of tea, but I'm intrigued by it. I could play it on Game Pass if I wanted to, but
I played for like 10 minutes on Game Pass one night, and it didn't. I didn't hate it, but it also. I probably shouldn't have played it so late. It was like 11:30 when I booted up, and I was like,
probably not a good nighttime game.
Yeah, it's like night game. I don't really feel like playing this right now, but it's just interesting. I'm very curious to see how this generation happens because I mean,
been pretty garbage so far.
It really is, and I want to hear your thoughts on what I'm about to say. So, obviously, no major PS4 or PS5 titles this year. Potentially getting a PlayStation Pro. Potentially. How likely do you think that, obviously Sarah Bond, in the Xbox interview dropped, they're going to be revealing new hardware in November. Could you see a possibility where Xbox reveals the next generation and it comes out in 2025? Like they want to get ahead of PlayStation because they're obviously, they're well far behind, and they want to get ahead like they did with the 360 and be out, a year plus and get that market, have the stronger console potentially. I'm assuming so, since she said it was the biggest hardware, or the biggest leap in power,
generational leap, whatever.
Do you think that's a possibility, or do you think it's going to be a 2026 thing, like the reports say?
See, I thought if anything, what she meant by new hardware was like some sort of like handheld, or
that's what I would prefer, to be honest.
Yeah, like oh my god, I would love a dedicated Xbox handheld machine. That would be so, like a native machine. That'd be so cool.
That you could download games onto, please.
Yeah,
God,
no cloud. Although I'm sure it would have cloud capabilities, but
yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem if it's like a cloud hybrid, but don't do the portal thing, God.
right. But to your point on a new generation in 2025, I don't think so, because my thought would be PlayStation would have their PS5 Pro maybe late 2024, early 2025, and then they would have their PS6, PlayStation 6 in 2027 at the earliest.
Yeah.
And then if Xbox came out with a new console in 2026, they would still be ahead of them. So I don't know if 2025 would be. I don't know if that's what they'd go for, but what's there to lose at this point? It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like they're winning a generation or doing particularly well. And
Man, I really think
don't
they
know.
could shake up or stir the pot, I should say, if they did their own handheld. Like that would be so cool. There's been so many
Awesome.
rumors in like the last 5 years that they've been thinking about doing it, but man, that would be so. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of itching for like a new handheld. Like I was thinking about this, I think I said it last week, but I was thinking about like the Steam Deck. As I'm like contemplating if I want a PS5, and the Steam Deck is like $500, so and you can hook it up to the TV if you want to. And just the thought of taking Elden Ring on the go, just like
Oh my god, right? Yeah,
gets me a little bricked up. I don't know.
it's fully bricked thinking about it.
uh,
Does it
yeah,
does it run 60 frames on the Steam Deck?
I don't know if it does or not, but
Okay.
I think I think it does. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I just been kind of like itching for something new, and like that's why I'm so bummed out that the Switch 2 is apparently coming out in 2025. Which I think at this point there's too many websites that are kind of like corroborating each other to where it's like,
Yeah, there's too much smoke for there not to be
yeah,
fire.
yeah. So I'm thinking that's maybe the case, but we'll see.
Damn. Remember when the Switch 2 was rumored for 2023 and it was allegedly pushed to 2024?
I hate these insiders, man.
I'm gonna retire before.
And I guess
Switch 2 comes
Piora
out.
was wrong. What did he try? What did he predict that he was wrong about? Because he was talking about deleting his. He's obviously joking, but I guess he was talking about something on the Pokemon Presents that he
Well,
got wrong.
he said take it with a grain of salt because this is unverified, but
Oh,
he
okay.
thought that Black and White 2 remake would show up.
Okay.
The Pokemon
Something like that.
Presents.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, speaking of the Pokemon Presents,
Let's get into it.
we got that today.
It was 10 minutes of
the
10 minutes of snoozing.
shortest Pokemon Presents in quite a while. I mean, they're usually not very long, like 25 minutes maybe at max. But this one was super short.
They skimmed over all that stuff.
Oh, like it was like yeah.
They learned.
I
They're learning.
appreciate, because in the past it would be like they would have the developer come out every time and say, okay, this is what we're doing to the like. So I appreciate that as someone who doesn't give a shit about any of the mobile stuff. And I know a lot of people play it, and it makes them a lot of money because they keep talking about it every year,
bringing it up.
So yeah. But yeah, as someone who doesn't care about the stuff, I definitely appreciated them not wasting my time on that.
Yeah. But I mean,
yeah.
I guess the only real announcement was Pokemon Legends ZA coming out in 2025. Weird name, very strange. I hope they.
Well, I think the Z is something to do with, it's so X and Y, X, Y, Z. So this is like
yeah.
So yeah, and I think and obviously this is like the first, X and Y was the first game where they had like the Mega Evolution. So those are going to be making a return. They haven't been in any of the mainline Pokemon games in quite a while, so that's pretty awesome. I think out of all the gimmicky things in Pokemon since like the Z move started, I think that's probably the coolest one.
Yeah.
Like Gigantamax was so lame. The terrestrialization also extremely lame looking.
Right.
But yeah, Legends, and it looks like it's going to be pretty big. Like as far as like, it feels like it's getting more time put into it, I guess, or more effort put into it than the original.
Yeah, but it's weird because when Nintendo tweeted about it, they said that the game would take place entirely in the city.
Okay, interesting. I didn't see that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you won't be. It won't be like Legends Arceus, where you're venturing out of the city for most of the gameplay. So I'm wondering
Okay.
if I mean, obviously you're going to be building out the city to some degree, but like I guess they'll have different environments within the city, kind of like
Well,
the
maybe you have to
Scarlet and
like.
Violet DLC.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you have to like conquer the city or like conquer portions of the area or yeah, I don't, that's interesting. I didn't see that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just it was kind of like it seemed like very intentional wording in that tweet. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Legend, you and I both agreed Legends is
The best thing
the
they've done at
best.
Pokemon in a very long time. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm very excited for what this Switch 2 game is going to bring, since
Switch
it's
2 game.
yeah,
I
for
think it's
sure.
definitely going to launch on both.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll come to the base set of systems, but yeah, it'll definitely come to Switch 2.
So, I
Maybe
mean,
that's
yeah, the Switch 2 is reported to come out in March. So, I mean, do you think that this could be? I had asked you earlier, but do you think this could be a like a launch title? We don't typically get Pokemon launch titles. What if
think
it's
it could be.
cross? I could see it.
If it's cross, maybe I could see Pokemon Company not wanting to launch like a mainline game
Yeah,
with the new system,
they like to be
or
on
like
an established like
established
console.
install
Yeah,
base.
install
That's why they
base.
skip the Wii U for that reason.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They didn't put a Pokemon game out.
But
Wow.
yeah, I could see this being like a really cool launch title alongside something like Mario.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just more excited that it seems like it feels like for the first time the Pokemon Company has heard people's complaints about Scarlet and Violet and how this underdeveloped that thing is.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that really damaged their reputation.
yeah, and it sold millions and millions of copies, and it was a lot of people loved it. But like even like the hardcore Pokemon fans were like, yeah, this is maybe something needs to change. Like we can't keep pushing out these games in order to keep up with all the other stuff. Like they need time to develop because they should be really good games, and I think everybody wants them to be. I think it's bad for the industry if Pokemon like fails because it sells so much and it's so iconic. But yeah, they just I don't know.
Yeah, they needed to take a step back, and it sounds like they are. I'm glad they didn't announce like a black and white remake for 2024.
Yeah,
That just means they're taking their time with Legends.
do you hear
Yeah.
moaning in the background? She's just laying down.
She dreaming.
No, I think she just wants to leave. So yeah, and I think it's crazy that we may not see the next mainline Pokemon until 2026, and that really excites me because that's extra.
Yeah, it's
time.
awesome.
Like normally I'm like, damn, like I want the games to come out sooner. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter like, man, I really wish this game came out this year. It's like, no, you don't.
No,
You don't. Spend the time to polish it. Like, I would prefer if this game came out in like holiday 2025. Like that's how let's do that. Like
Let's
them
make
a
it a
lot of
good
time.
game.
Yeah, because they can always announce like sometime in the summer they do like another Pokemon thing and announce the remake of Black and White or Gold and Silver, whatever the rumors were. Have it come out in January of 2025, so we've got a little bit of Pokemon, and then have like the next Legends game to come out, and it'd be like a super big deal, and it's fantastic. So that's what I
Hey,
want.
we love a delay for a Pokemon game, just like we love a high price for a FromSoft DLC.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end. I'm oh my god, so excited.
So excited that it's $40.
And that's the sentiment too. It's like normally like people are bitching about like price of DLCs, and very much justified because most DLC is absolute garbage. But yeah, when they were like, yeah, this is gonna be $40, I was like, dude, this is like Elden Ring 2 or Elden Ring 1.75. Like this is gonna be, it's just gonna be meaty.
Yeah, it's gonna be so meaty.
Oh God, I can't wait. I feel like I want to say one more thing about Pokemon. No, I think that was it. We also had a Nintendo Direct last week as well. the partner direct finally got announced, and all the heat died off of I don't know, Nate the Hate and all the other YouTubers out there that were clamoring for this for this direct. And I'm so glad, like, it's dumb because I was getting ready to mute the word direct on Twitter just because I was like so done with it. And I normally don't, but yeah, it was irritating. But yeah, we got the direct, partner direct, of course. Some decent stuff in there, you know, not too bad.
Yeah. Let's see. Pepper Grinder looks really good. That demo was fun.
Great. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Another Crab's Treasure that looks really great. That comes out when? April 25th.
April 20th. Okay, that's pretty soon. Okay. Yeah,
that's before Elden Ring DLC. Oh, yeah, that looks cool.
That looks cool. And it's got voice acting too, so it's pretty cool.
It looks like a really fully fleshed game.
Yeah.
Ender Lilies Quietus. Oh wait, Ender Magnolia, the sequel to Ender Lilies. That one looks cool. I've played like 3 or 4 hours of Ender Lilies, and that game is
Isn't
that
like a Souls-like kind of game too?
Yeah, okay. Kind of like Souls-like.
Love good Souls-like.
Me too, man. Fantasy Life that one looks relatively fun.
Yeah, that was one of the Puro leaks. Like Puro kind of leaked this entire thing pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then I forgot about Endless Ocean or whatever, the sequel.
Right.
I was like, really? They ended on that?
It's like, is that as beloved as they think it is?
I don't think so. Yeah, after they ended that, I was like, yeah, this year might be kind of be washed for the Switch.
Might be a slow year.
Yeah, which is fine. We got Elden Ring.
This just made me more curious because I mean, obviously, they stated that most of this stuff was launching in the first half of 2024. Are they going to have a summer Nintendo Direct where they announce stuff coming out in late 2024? Like, what's even left?
So, speaking of insiders, did you hear what Jeff Grubb said about Metroid?
About the May?
Yeah, so I guess this is like one of his contacts, but this was like a while ago. So he said it's probably not true, but yeah, there's they seemed like they were ramping up for a big marketing thing in May for Metroid. So what that means, I don't know. I think Metroid Prime 4 comes out this year. I think it does. It was promised on Switch. I think that could be like the swan song game for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be a really, if they market it pretty heavily, which I assume that they would, I think that could be a really, really big game for them in the holiday. And I really do think we're getting the Zelda remasters in summer.
In the summer?
In the summertime, yep. Like maybe July, August, we'll get those, and then we'll get Metro Prime in October.
And that's it.
And that's and then we Paper Mario, Luigi's Mansion 2, which on GameStop at $60, and I don't know about that, man. That's
kind of wild.
That's pricey, man. I had watched RGT85's video about the pricing for these remasters, and he's right. Nintendo is all over the place with their pricing. Like Metro Prime remastered, $40, incredible remaster, I thought. And then you've got Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is priced at $50. And then you've got Paper Mario at $60. You know, Peach is fine. I mean, that's a brand new game. You know, whether it's going to be worth $60 or not, I don't know. Obviously that's subjective too. So, and it's all subjective. But yeah, I don't know, man. $60 for these remastered for a 3DS game.
Yeah, it's kind of egregious. Because what were the 3DS games at that point? Like $40?
It was 40 when it came out.
40. Okay, yeah. 40. Yeah, I mean, it kind of started with Tropical Freeze, like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, because that one was $50 on Wii U and 60 on Switch. I don't know. Yeah, they are all over the place for better or worse. Like sometimes they drop just the coolest thing of all time with Metroid Prime Remastered, and that was $40, surprisingly cheap.
$40.
Yeah,
steal.
That was a steal.
Maybe not a steal, but
a good
like a
good
very
value.
surprising price point. And I think obviously if Metroid Prime was a millions and millions and millions of seller, like it would have absolutely been 50 or 60, but because it's not a huge franchise, they priced it correctly. They absolutely priced it correctly, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mario versus Donkey Kong was incorrectly priced, even though I haven't played it yet, but
it is. Yeah, I'm glad I picked it up for 30 and 35 bucks.
Okay.
That seems very, very fair.
Yeah, so I just don't know. I don't know what they have in store for this year. Maybe that Fire Emblem 4 remake.
Yeah, that could be.
We've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah, because there's already rumors of it, of an April direct and stuff. Like people are just absolutely nutty, man. It never stops.
I don't know if they would have an April direct and a June direct. I think it would be one or the other.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact that this one was a partner showcase and they're usually always regular directs, like I kind of feel like anything's kind of up in the air within the next few months as far as like when the next general direct's going to happen to carry them over until, September, So, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, weird times.
Very weird times. Like it's just
clearly
clearly the end of the Switch.
I'm still playing my Switch though.
Still am. Yeah.
I that's a lot more than I could say about the Wii at the end of its life cycle, even about the 3DS to a certain degree, since the Switch had already come out. But and then the Wii U, especially, like that game was, living in the desert in 2016.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I still think for the last year of the Switch, we got some decent stuff coming, and then if Metroid Prime 4 comes out, that's a good way to cap off the legacy of the Switch.
Yeah. Still one of the best systems ever, man. One of the best ever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy that a game that was announced within the first few months of the Switch's release has still not come out.
Yeah, that's wild. A lot of people want it.
Like Breath of the Wild and its sequel, it came out before Metroid Prime 4, which is probably going to be like a 15-hour game. It's probably going to be like 15 or 20 hours.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, because what Prime Remaster was, like 15 hours maybe?
Yeah.
I could see it being a pretty meaty, I said meaty again, but yeah, pretty meaty game. I need something meaty. What's that phrase in Xenoblade?
I'm going to need something meaty.
I need to finish that DLC.
You do?
Yeah. Nintendo's in an interesting time because and they very well could, in a couple weeks, announce the Switch 2 when it comes out this year because nothing's set in stone until Nintendo says it is or isn't. But yeah, there's too many reports that are saying that it's 2025. So, but let's talk about Peak, Nick. And
I love Peak, man.
Yeah. So obviously we got the kind of out of nowhere, right? They announced like the night before that we were getting an Erdtree, Shadow of the Erdtree gameplay trailer, and boy did they deliver the hype.
Yeah, whoever edits those trailers for FromSoft games, they knock it out of the park between showing actual gameplay, which most of it was gameplay, and then giving like tidbits of ridiculous story that gives like YouTubers the opportunity to have their hour-long analysis on these 3-minute trailers. So it's a great mix, and everything about this DLC looks extraordinary.
Yeah, I am beyond hyped. This Elden Ring is arguably one of my favorite game of all time at this point.
Yeah.
When I say peak, I don't mean that in like a funny haha like meme type of way. No, it's damn good gaming right there.
Yeah.
And this looks fantastic, and it's $40. And what I bought it and then I canceled it. But what DLC gets like a collector's edition version?
Yeah, that's kind of wild, and I don't know. Like just the fact that it takes place in a completely new area, like the Shadow, what is it, Land of Shadow or something.
Yeah.
And that, according to Miyazaki, the landmass, the Land of Shadow, is at least as big as uh what's the starting area? Not Liurnia, the lakes, but Limgrave.
Limgrave, yep. Which is massive.
Yeah, he said it's at least as big as that, and he's like historically very modest when describing the size. I think he said Elden Ring was around 30 hours long. So it's probably huge. I mean, considering the price of this is double that of Bloodborne's The Old Hunters, and that one was essentially 2 DLCs put into one.
Yeah.
I mean, who's to say how much content this game has, or how much content this DLC has, and
there's like a new fighter class. Like, didn't he like drop kick somebody like in the?
Yeah, it's like martial arts class. Like, there's like 10 or 8 different new types of weapons, like weapon classes, and then at least 10 new bosses. And that's probably not even counting like optional.
Yeah, because he did say that there's still going to be, because I think IGN did an interview with Miyazaki.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still going to be like I want to say Chalice dungeons, but that's not whatever the dungeons were, and
like not the legacy dungeons, but the like the cave type
stuff with like the bosses at the end. But yeah, there's gonna be more of that. Dude, man, it's. I mean, if you haven't seen the trailer by now, please stop the podcast and go watch it and come back. But I imagine if you're a fan of Elden Ring, you've probably seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And they did so. They kind of, I guess they trolled like everybody on YouTube, because I was sitting there watching it at like 9:30 is when like the trailer started, but they did like a 10-second countdown, and then it was like you got to wait 30 minutes or something. I was like, man, that sucks.
See, I knew it started at 10, so I just jumped in at like 9.
Okay. See, I thought it was at 9:30 because like I booted up the YouTube channel and it said 9:30, and then but it was they were counting down to the countdown. And I was like, you guys are trolls, man. But hey,
it's like when it's like all those movie trailers that have like 10 seconds, and then they say, "And the movie trailer starts now."
Yeah,
but they have like a little stupid preview to the movie trailer. But yeah, the Shadow of the Erdtree looks just so incredible.
I wonder. I mean, I guess like at this point, like Elden Ring can just kind of have a trailer drop on its own. It doesn't need anything else. But man, I kind of wish this was at the Game Awards. Like that would have been so hype.
Yeah, what's a 2-month difference, right? I wonder if they were still polishing the game or whatever.
Could have,
but yeah, I'm sure Jeff Keighley was tugging FromSoft, trying to get them, please give me anything.
Just give me anything. But yeah, June 21st is when it comes out. Which is funny because I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but 621 is the pilot in Armored Core 6, so I don't know. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but
also the summer solstice, right?
I think so, yeah. But yeah, I can't wait, man. Comes out on a Friday, so I'm like, taking that day off or not?
Oh, that's lit. It comes out on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The summer solstice is June 20th.
June 20th,
the day before.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wonder what time it launches in New Zealand too. I'm
taking a trip.
I'm going on a trip.
Going on a trip in my favorite rocket ship.
Oh man, yeah. The new weapon class, like they had like a shield weapon, shield sword thing. They had the daggers that come back to you, which is really cool.
Yep.
That was like a cool ranged class.
But yeah, I think story wise, I mean, it's so hard to kind of keep up with FromSoft stories. But this is Michaela. It's Melania's brother.
Yeah, you're following him throughout the Land of Shadow, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of
I think it's like
following
I
those
think it's like
tracks.
after you burn the tree, right? After the tree burns, or is it
Well,
just
no, it's just taking place at the same time as
same time? Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so it's
can't
not
wait,
like you're
man.
going into the
Can't wait.
future or into the past. It's gonna be sick.
More.
I mean, Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring's my favorite game of all time.
Screw it. Screw it. Yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait for TikTok to blow up again with all the Elden Ring stuff. I can't wait
Oh my
for
gosh.
in the middle of the night to come back. I'm gonna be putting. Well, we might not be able to put that anymore. It's on TikTok because I think they got rid of a lot of their like songs, but I think it's still on there. I think you can still use
Which
it.
one? Which one are you talking about?
Like in the middle of the night song, like in the middle of the night, in the middle of the night. That one, like the Elden Ring song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Attack on Titan song.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like the Elden Ring theme song for a while, with all like everyone used it for like all their outfit showing off their, their outfits. Oh man, yeah, I can't
That's
wait
good times.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite moments in gaming. Was back then. It's just
yeah,
so good.
Back when just everyone was happy, you know.
Yeah, because that came out 2022.
Yeah, February 2022.
Yeah. You know, life has gotten worse since.
Was that peak life too?
That was peak life. But yeah, we're obviously very, very hyped for this game. And we'll figure out when we're gonna start the Elden Ring, and how we're gonna do that. But yeah, I definitely want to at least go back to it and play some more because yeah,
just one of the games of all time, you know.
One of the games of all time. All right, Nick. Well, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
Man, I think we've talked about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
I think we covered it all.
Okay. Well, we got it.
We did it.
We did it. All right, guys. Well, yeah, that's going to wrap up the show. We appreciate everyone that's been watching live and watching or listening to the audio version. Please leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, whatever you prefer to listen on. I did see we had like 150 5-star ratings on Good Pods, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
It's like a podcast service or app or something like that, but that was pretty cool to see. So whomever did that, we appreciate that. Nick, final thoughts?
Hope everyone has a good week.
Yeah.
I'm excited for everyone who's going to play Final Fantasy Rebirth.
It comes out Friday, right?
I think it's Thursday.
Thursday? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to, after that game next week, we'll have to check in on Fantasy Critic and see how we're doing.
Oh yeah. Have you seen the like the beach scenes from Rebirth?
No, I don't think so.
It's a little ridiculous.
Is it just like nonsensical Japanese horniness?
Yeah, 100%. Like to an extreme. Yeah, go check it out. Just
okay. I'll check it out.
It's just funny.
I wonder what the context of that is. If it's just like
it puts Xenoblade Chronicles to shame, and that game's not even bad.
No, I don't remember it being like
two got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 got a lot of pushback for being
too horny.
Overly, yeah, but it really wasn't, especially in comparison to Rebirth.
Well,
to each their own.
Yeah, kind of expected in Final Fantasy games, I think.
Yeah,
but all right, guys. Well, we will be back same time next Monday. Hope everyone has a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.